Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, everyone. This is me, Jonathan Alexander, and I'm here to host my show, Life, Laughter, Happiness. Today, we have an interesting show. First, we have my guest, Kelly, guest host Kelly. Are you there, Kelly?
Yes, hello.
My co-host, Kelly, the one who always brings magic to the show. And my guest today is Joseph Lobrutto III. Now, I tell you, I called you on the phone and we discussed this. You are both a psychic and a medium. Is that accurate?
That is correct. A psychic's able to tell past, present, and future about people, relationships, careers. A medium is the one who talks to the deceased loved ones, spirit guides, and I am both. I'm able to do both.
I understand. Now, I mean, when you see something like a vision, how does it materialize itself with you?
Well, it depends on what type of session I'm doing. If I'm reading for loved ones, feelings will come through. I'm also what's called a channel. A channel is able to channel spirit guides and to speak through. And being a channel, I'm able to bring loved ones through, so they will kind of like merge with me. Their personalities will come through. And so I will feel them mainly, or they will speak through me, and that's how they come through.
Because I'm curious, I think what I liked, this is what I liked most about what I read about you, is you did a thing called speaking to heaven.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep. That's connecting with your loved ones and speaking to our loved ones who are crossed over.
Now, let me ask you this. Do you ever connect with angels?
Yes, that's the channeling part. I call them spirit guides and angels, and they do come through for lessons. My first book I wrote, called Is There More to Life Than What We Know, is a channel book, me channeling angels, me channeling spirit guides to teach. When I do my healings for people, I bring in Archangel Raphael. He channels through me for healing. And so I do channel angels as well as spirit guides.
Do you have anything to add to that, Kelly?
Well, I find that interesting, and I can relate on some levels with it. I've had some experiences where people who have passed, it's usually after some sort of traumatic time for me, they will seem to come to me when somebody needs to know something, like a message to give to someone else. And they can be really ridiculous things to me and, like, don't make sense, but I'm like, okay, fine, I'll contact so-and-so, but I know I'm going to look stupid. But then when I give them the message, they start crying because it makes perfect sense to them, even though it didn't for me. Have you ever had those kind of situations?
Well, at the very beginning of my stages, yeah, when I didn't have to activate to do this for a living, where spontaneously, if I needed to give a message to someone, a loved one will appear, and then I would need to give that message to somebody just to pass it through. Once I condition myself to do this for a living, I'm able to connect directly to the person. The person comes to me, and I'm able to seek their loved ones and bring them through for them. But like I said, at the beginning stages, it only activated when a certain loved one needed to speak to somebody, and it was kind of random. It wasn't always. It didn't happen all the time. It was here and there when I first was into this.
Oh, how did you hone in on it to develop it better?
Well, when I realized I had this gift, I wanted to learn more and started reading little books about it. The television show John Edwards was new, starting to come out and crossing over, and I started watching his show, and I started practicing, doing exactly what he did for small groups. And when I had the people in front of me, I just focused on them, and I said, okay, who's here for this person? In my mind, I'm thinking this. Then I start to hear names and people, and I said, okay, I have this person here for you, and I started to give messages to people. Now I started conditioning myself to do it on when I'm ready and I'm open. I'm saying, okay, I need to give messages to people who are in front of me, loved ones who need to come through now. So it's all just practice and conditioning yourself to do that.
I'm curious. How hard is it to channel Michael?
It's not really hard at all. You have to. When I teach my channeling classes, I tell everybody to use your imagination. Pretend you're 5 years old again. And if Michael happens to come through, what would he say? What words would he use? And then just whatever words pop in your head, just say it. And that's how easy channeling is right there. What I find is that when I start to channel, I start to write things. It's called automatic writing. And then when I read it later, I remember having family members read what I write, and they said, this is not me. I remember my kids, Dad, this is not you, or my ex-wife, this is not you. And I said, I know, this is channeled. The message is me at all. But that's how it starts to flow. You use your imagination, let it flow, pretend you're having a conversation with yourself. So when you blend with them, the information will come through.
I was
going
to say something. Many years ago, I watched this show, and it was one of those shows where I forgot what it was, but apparently this 5-year-old girl, the mom was eating something, and she choked and she fell and she collapsed on the ground. Well, she picked up the phone and she somehow was able to call 911 to talk to them, And basically she said, well, there was, yes, what's going on? Where are you right now? Well, my mom is out. She's unconscious, and then what else? And she goes, well, there's a funny man here. And, automatically when you hear that, you think, oh, my God, murderer, rapist, my God. But apparently this guy wasn't hurting anybody. He was just this funny little man with a funny nose and everything, just this goofy, funny nose. And what happened was that as he was laying there, as she was laying there, with the nose and everything, they later came to the conclusion that this was an angel.
Oh, wow.
Because it just didn't make any sense. Why would this guy be in the house? But he wasn't doing anything to her. He wasn't, he wasn't laying in the house. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and they probably asked her to put him on the phone, and he couldn't get on the phone. And they're wondering why he can pick up the phone, too.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
So, especially kids, children can see spirit. And when it's traumatic like that and they're afraid, a lot of times guardian angels, I would call it a guardian angel for her, would show themselves to calm them down, to make sure it's okay. Probably appeared to her funny that way because she needed to see somebody, like maybe a character out of a cartoon or something like that, because she needed to perceive it that way as a character like that.
We have a caller. Are you okay with taking a call?
We could take a call.
Okay.
I just have some rules to limit it to one question. On that, and so I'm not all day with that one caller.
Okay. All right, let's go with the first one. Caller, you on the air? The rule is who am I speaking with?
Yeah, this is Mike. How are you today?
What?
How are you today, everybody? Are you okay? Everybody good? Yes. Thank you.
Your name is Mike?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Where are you calling from, Mike?
Singapore, sir.
I'm sorry, where is it?
Singapore.
Singapore. That's a faraway place.
Yeah.
Welcome for calling in. What can I help you
thank you.
What question do you have
since you're psychic, what do you see for me in the next 3 months?
All right. How I work, Mike, is you ask as specific as you can a question. If something's happening and you want to know the outcome of something happening, ask me what the situation is. and what do I see
Okay.
how it's happening.
Okay. Yeah. Do you think that I am a journalist?
Okay, so your question about is your journalistic style of writing, and what do I see in your future about being a
Right.
journalist? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. One thing, Mike, I have is you got to be more strong and more stubborn, and with people, meaning that doors will get shut on your face on some things. You have to be persistent. You have to be. I feel your writing techniques are very good. It's just people aren't. It's very hard to get your foot in the door to get employment as being a journalist. What you need to do is just be more assertive about yourself. Your writings are very good. You get to the point. I feel like you're very. You search for the truth on things like that, and you make sure before you write anything that it's the truth on everything. And politics and stuff. Do you get involved with politics or anything in your writing, Mike?
Yeah. Do you think I will be good Blog Talk host show?
What I feel is that your journalistic style is good. That I feel like that you have a way of finding the truth from people. So you have a lot of creative ideas. So let's just say, as a journalist, I feel that your gift to investigate is very good. So if you're talking about being a host on a show, I feel that's more of your. You know how the news has the main newscast people, and then they have the investigators that are out on the street. I feel like you're more of a road type of investigator person, where you get your feet wet, where you get into the action, where you're there and you report what's going on. Like if there's war breaking out, you're in the middle of it and you're telling everybody, you're showing everybody what's going on. This is the type of journalist that I feel you are. You're right in the heart of things. So
Yes.
you're the,
Yeah. That's. It is
you're
true.
the strength.
Yeah.
You're the strength of it. You're the bravery, because it takes bravery to do
that. Did that answer your questions, sir?
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
He says.
Right, thank you, sir.
He's a very much good
Okay.
reading you had. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you for calling, Mike, and good luck to you in Singapore.
Now, when you do your speaking to heaven, like that's when you. I mean, you do it with.
I connect to the loved ones, and if any caller wants to speak to their loved ones, how I do it on the phone, I'm a direct dial. By knowing the relationship of a person, I'm able 98% of the time able to connect. So if somebody wants to talk to somebody who's passed, just ask me, Joseph, I like to talk to my mother. Joseph, I like to talk to my father. Just a relationship, no names or how they died, just a relationship to you.
Because we have another caller. I can put them on. You okay with that? Okay.
Yep.
Area code 631. Are you on? Are you there? (631) area code. Are you there?
Yes, I am. I'm here.
Hi.
Hi.
What's your name, ma'am?
Kathy?
Kathy.
Where are you calling from, Kathy?
I'm coming Long Island, New York.
Okay.
Hi, Joe. How are you?
Good. You know me then. Yeah.
I know you from Facebook. Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, when you use Joe, that's okay. That's more personal.
I'm doing your diet.
I've lost.
I'm
51
trying,
pounds
Joe. I'm
doing
trying. I do have a question. I'm suffering with terrible pains in my head.
Okay.
That actually bring me to my knees.
Wow. Okay. Does it stem from the neck, Kathy? Where
it could come from the neck.
Do you feel that it happens if you slept wrong or when you're waking up or anything like that?
No, it could happen at any time.
Okay. But how is it when you're after you wake up, when you're sleeping? Do you feel it more then?
When I'm sleeping. I have a stiff neck when I sleep, but it's not that pain. It's not. It shoots up the side of my head and by my right temple.
Okay. I feel like it stems down from the neck, and that's where they're telling me. And sometimes that's why I asked if you slept wrong, or maybe sometimes just changing a pillow could just help you tremendously on there. But it has to do with your head posture, and that's what's causing the severe pain that they're telling me.
Oh, okay. Nothing else. That's it, huh? That's great.
That's it. That's it. So try switching pillows and maybe a firmer pillow, maybe.
Okay.
And just go back and forth and see what type of pillow would work for you. And I feel like it's going to subside. The headache will start to subside during the day.
Right.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you,
I'm
Kathy,
sorry?
for calling.
Thank you. I love you, and I can't wait to show you a picture of when I'm skinny.
Okay, you send it to me. That would be wonderful.
Okay, I will. Thank you.
You're welcome,
Bye-bye.
Kathy. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Now, I have a question. Now, and this question is for my co-host.
Okay.
Because we've talked, and she didn't know that I was going to ask this, but to go ahead and ask this. Sorry, Kelly, you don't have to be afraid or anything. But,
that's okay. I'm not embarrassed or anything. I have no idea what you're going to bring out.
Okay, she had a miscarriage. And about a few months ago, this has been brought up on the show. And other psychics have said that they come through as like little souls or little spirits. How did they appear to you?
I'm sorry for your miscarriage, by the way.
Thank you.
So, what they are when they what happens is when the fetus is in the body, the soul comes in and out. It doesn't adhere yet to the fetus until it takes its first breath. Then the soul is there as part of as the baby. But as it's a fetus in your body, the soul comes in, goes out, comes in, goes out. What happens is that if the fetus is not right, the soul chooses not to come through because it chooses not to have abnormalities or anything like that, or deformation or deform. So it may choose not to come through. But yeah, the soul will always be around you, waiting for the next ride or the next time you get pregnant, and will come through the next time. So it's not like the soul is gone forever if you miscarry. It means the soul is kind of put on reserve, and then when you try again, then the soul will come through.
So in other words, when she has her next kid, it's going to be the soul of
the soul will try to come through again with the next baby.
So actually, to get technical, that it's probably possible for a woman to be 18 months pregnant.
Well, I guess you could say that, yeah.
It's the same baby, yeah. The
same
baby, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm sorry about that personal question. Well, you did bring it up on the show, and I just thought it would be appropriate, and I thought you might want to know the answer yourself.
I am so glad that you brought that up because I've never heard of it put that way, and that makes sense. You know,
yeah.
I kind of wonder what happens when people don't get pregnant again and they miscarry. What happens to that soul?
The soul will reincarnate into the family somewhere else, either a sibling or a cousin, somewhere down the family line. They will come through.
Now, what happens? This is
or they might wait around for the next generation and come through.
This is
they have to be here.
What about if somebody is 107 and dies? My grandmother was 107, and she died about a few months ago.
Okay, God bless. So, yeah. So what is your question about that?
Well, I'm curious. I mean, is she a spirit or is she reincarnated? You know?
Most likely when we reincarnate, I like to use a 100-year span for reincarnation. what we do is the soul waits for the whole soul family to reunite in spirit, and normally it takes like 100 years for the whole family to come back again. And out of the billions of people in this world, your closest friends and your family are the ones you reincarnate time after time again. You switch roles, like your father could be your brother the next time, your grandmother could be your mother, your grandmother could be your sister the next time around. So what it is, your grandmother's going to be in this so-called heavenly realm that she creates for herself. As the other members pass away in the family throughout within the 100 years, then the whole soul family's there, and they all say, okay, let's come back to this earth now, and one at a time, and start to live life again. And that's how normally it works. It could be 50 years too. It doesn't have to be the 100-year. It could be 50 years.
I've actually heard some people say that there's some people that believe that Hitler is a rabbi right now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's
Wow.
how they learn, is by their past mistakes, and they have to live. Their karmic duties is to experience things that they haven't, mistakes that they have done in the past. So
goodness knows Hitler would have mistakes.
You know, Hitler could be he could be part, you know, he in the Jewish faith and Judaism. You know, he could be in Israel right now as a rabbi in Israel, or he could just be an Israel. You know, rabbi is kind of high up there and very spiritual and stuff. I would say with Hitler, he could be just down learning Judaism and learning how to go. He may, a lot of times, he's going to feel the repercussions of what he done. So he may be on the other end where the terrorists are against the Jews and killing and stuff like that, where you hear it happening, and he may be on that end too, just to experience how to be somebody prejudiced against him and doing that. So I would feel that's where he's at.
Now, you make it sound almost, I don't know, the reason I'm bringing this up is because I bought this up yesterday. There is a man, are you familiar with the name Carlton Pearson?
No.
Okay. He used to work with like George W. Bush and Oral Roberts and everything. The only reason I'm bringing this up is it sounds like you sort of take his view a little bit. He does not believe in the literal hell. And the reason I bring up that point is, you know, a lot of people, if they ask, well, where is Hitler right now, they're not going to say he's reincarnated as a rabbi. They're going to say he's probably fire and brimstone. You know, I mean, what's your stance on hell?
Okay. Yeah, I wrote about it in I have another book called Speaking of Heaven, and I wrote about a concept of hell. And, you know, when I hate to go Christian on here, but I'm going to go Christian with Jesus here. When Jesus described hell, he described it as a dump, a rubbish dump, a Gehenna. He said that the people would pick through the trash as the fires burned at night to light up the dumps. They literally took that passage, the Christian Bible, and said that the souls will burn in hell and the good would rise. So what Jesus was trying to teach was that the poor who had to go through the dumps to look for food while these fires burned at night for their life, that was a living hell for them because they were living in poverty, that they had no food to eat. What my concept of hell is you know, Earth is a duality, and we have good, we have bad, we have choices here. If anything, the choices we make here or the troubles and that we go through is kind of like a personal hell. So if anything, Earth is a hell compared to heaven.
That's what he believes. That's what he believes.
So here what we have to do, and we have to go through pain and suffering, this is our hell. We transform into the heavenly realm. That is our peace. That is unconditional love. So I'm going to use Hitler for an example. What he did was wrong, crucifying, killing Jews. When he died, his soul became pure. It became godlike again. He looked at his life and he went, oh, my God, what did I do? How can I be that way? What did I learn? So he reincarnates back here on earth. Maybe he became a Jew where he is being persecuted now. and he's feeling the repercussions of what has he done to other people. Now, this is a living hell for him that he's going through in this time and age. So that's his so-called punishment that he chooses, his lesson he chooses. And once he learns this lesson, then he moves further. He becomes more enlightened. And but the heavenly realm, once we cross, we're godlike. God is all forgiven. We look at they call this the play of life, and for a reason. It's because we're here for learning experiences, and that's why we live here on the earth, for our journey and to learn.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I write about this in both of my books I have.
I think this is why I sort of take this concept with how the hell is here. And you said that you had a daughter, so I'm going to use your daughter as an example. Let's say that your daughter, when she was 11, decided that she wanted to put peanut butter all over the walls of your house, okay? Now, I don't know if this ever happened, but say she did, okay? Now, the first thing that you would do if that happened would be to punish her, right?
Okay.
To me, punishment does two things. It rehabilitates, and it makes you pay for what it is that you did. The problem with hell being a punishment is it doesn't really fit the definition because it has infinite characteristics. Once you put infinite characteristics to hell, then it's not really punishment anymore. Because what happens is that, one, it doesn't matter if you go to hell and you're rehabilitated, you're never going to leave. So obviously people aren't going to hell to be rehabilitated. And secondly, as far as paying your debt, if it's infinite, if you're going to be there forever and you're never going to leave, then you're not really repaying your debt. But you see my point?
Yeah, well, that's the concept of what hell is a place where Satan is, and then your soul is cast there for all eternity, and that's it. And that's just the fear based on there. The soul is always growing and it's always learning. And like I said, here is lessons on. It's not a punishment; it's lessons when we come back here. And the lessons we are learning is what we did in a past life to correct it in this life. For instance, supposedly in a past life, this is a better example. In this, let's say in this life, you're a person who hurts people. You breaks people's legs and stuff like that, and you hurt them, and then you die. You come back again, and maybe you're crippled, and you can't walk, and you have to experience. That's kind of like the pain that you caused other people in the past. This is what you have to experience now about what is happening. It probably the same thing happened to you and what you did with the other person in the past life. It's not a living hell, but it's a lesson, and it's a lesson you have to learn to move forward. And that's kind of an example I can give.
Interesting.
Do you, are you able to look at a person and see something, or like on the screen, or?
Yeah, I never read anybody without their permission. So when they come see me, they're open up to me. I make sure that they give me permission to read them, and once I have permission to read them, they're open to me, and I see everything. I could see, for instance, the first caller from Singapore. I saw how he wanted the reading. He opened to me, and I saw how aggressive a person he is, how outgoing he is, that he wants to get the truth to things, that he doesn't mind getting his hands dirty and working hard to do that instead of sitting in front of an anchor table at a desk and reporting it. He wants to get the news, and that's what I see in him. And this is what I see in people.
Do you need the birth date in order to do it, or does it help?
Nope. I just need their energy. I just need their sound of the voice. When I do a session, I condition myself. I have people count 1 to 10, so I can, and then say their first name 3 times. And normally, when they say their name 3 times, that's when I start to do my reading. On the radio here, I have them vocal their name once. That's why I said, "What is your name?" and the callers, and then I have them say their first name. That gives me permission to read them once they identified themselves as their first name.
Now, would you mind if I ask you a question?
Sure.
Okay. A recent psychic told me that in a year I was going to be meeting my spouse.
Okay.
That I was going to finally meet her, and there was a long details. I mean, I want to know if you concur with what she said.
Yeah. Well, normally I form my own opinion, my own reading, and what I feel instead of going with other things. I have to get your age now, Jonathan, for this.
46.
So. Okay. The way I feel with you, Jonathan, is this. Now, like I said, I'm going to go deep and to the root of everything, but sometimes there's a complex thing about you where sometimes it's hard for a person to understand who you are. Sometimes being alone for you is sometimes you enjoy that alone time. You get lonely at times, but then I feel like you you like your space as well. There has been some true loves or some deep loves for people, but I feel like there has been some heartbreak with you.
Mm-hmm.
Being this heartbreak, it's very hard for you to open up with other people because you're afraid of getting that heart broke again.
Yes.
We are very energetic, and what we put out there is what we receive. And if we're afraid to open up our heart to somebody, then we close up. And I feel like there's a part of you who self-sabotages yourself, that you're closing yourself off to any relationship. Sometimes we set the bar too high, and we expect this perfect person, so to say. We need to not set a bar at all. We need to be attracted to a person that fulfills our need and makes us feel good about ourselves. A person who makes us feel good about ourselves, who makes us feel comfortable, that's the person you need to be attracted to. So, in general, what I'm feeling is there's some work that has to be done with you first about trust issues, learning to open up with your heart, learning to trust, and learning to be vulnerable and take a chance. Once you can do that, that will bring that relationship to you. That would bring somebody into your life. Do I see you growing old by yourself? No, I don't see you growing old by yourself. You're 46 years of age. I felt like there was never true love. Were you never married before or anything like that?
No, I was never married, no.
Yeah, so that's what I feel, that you were never married before. And but I feel that you're ready for this, that now it's the time that you don't want to be alone. So just learn to trust, learn to share your space. That's most important too, because when we're single for the longest time, we get used to our own space. So learn to share your space with somebody. Then once you start to shift your energy, a person will come into your life. Hobbies. I feel like sometimes you can be very reclusive. You don't get out much. You stay at home. You're in front of the computer or in front of the TV.
The computer, yeah.
On the computer. This you need to break. You need to go out more. Hey, there's AJ's. I'm always at AJ's. I'll meet you there, okay? I'll be your wingman. So I love AJ's when I go there. I'm always at AJ's. But you need to get out more. You need to do stuff. So it's very important. So I'll look you up when I'm in Destin in December and things. So we'll hang. We'll get a beer. So, but that's what I feel. What you need to do. You need to get out more, and you need to do more things. You need to do more things what the single people are doing, and this is when you're going to bring that person into your life, and that's what I feel.
Okay. Now, Kelly, do you have any questions for him?
Thank you. Actually, I've been thinking about it. Right now, I'm going through a frustrating time with physical therapy and trying to get back after an accident. There seems to be a series of things that have happened over the years, and I come back from them, but I'm trying to figure out a direction, to start checking into schools to further college, finish my degree, and if so, in what. I'm writing books. I'm starting to interview people for them. I have exotic animals that I rescue, and I don't know if eventually my fiance and I will find a house where the ordinance isn't against having them.
Okay.
And, just trying to be able to have a healthy working relationship with his child's mother and, hopefully a baby down the road for us after we get married, things like that. But it's just, I kind of need reassurance I'm on the right path, or, maybe there's something I'm not considering that I should be doing.
Okay. Well, you just asked a ton of things here, so we're gonna we're gonna isolate here. And
okay.
You talked about physical therapy at first, about things you're recovering from a car accident, correct?
Yeah.
On here. Patient in the process is very important. I feel you're trying to rush things too quickly, and doing the work, the physical therapy itself, and not doing program and not half doing it is very important. That's the only way of getting back to where you need to get back. I feel that sometimes the pain that we have is sometimes it's easier not to do it and just kind of sit back on the couch or lay back on the couch and not deal with things. But you have to push yourself, and I feel like once you push yourself, you'll be able to focus more on doing more stuff. And that's where it stems off for the rest of the stuff to fall into place for you, is to get back in the healthy spot you can be.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Now the other part you talked about children. What was the children that you asked?
I don't have any myself, but my fiance has a 10-year-old daughter, and sometimes it's hard for communications and such, between the parents, and I always want to make her feel and know that she is the mom and important, but I think she sees me as trying to take over the mom role, and I'm not trying to do that. It's just something that
is this his ex-girlfriend or his
ex-wife? Yeah.
His ex-wife. One thing, Kelly, she's always going to feel that, because any woman that comes into your fiance's life, his ex is going to feel threatened about someone taking the role for the daughter. So that's always going to have to be. The only thing you have to do is not change, and you be yourself. If the mother's not fulfilling a role of being a good mom to her, then it's not your fault. But if you can do a role and you just be yourself, and if you're good, the daughter may have more liking to you, because it's a different scenario. Kids rather hang out with you because you're cool, but not hang out with their mother, and that's the difference. When a kid wants to hang out with their mom, they try to get away from their mom and their dad, but now you're the cool one coming through, and then the mother's feeling that more attention from her daughter to you. This will get better through time. It's just this jealousy from her mother that she has. She's afraid that the daughter is going to like you more than her, but eventually it's all going to mellow. It'll all level out on here. You just be yourself and treat her like you would do it. Never talk bad about the other person, and that's all you need to do.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, because I know I would never want to take her place, and I know I can't. And I know that his daughter loves her mom very much, but I know it's like, new person, a new toy, a new whatever, for the daughter. Like, oh boy, here's this new person. She's cool. She has all these animals, and
But she's looking at you more. She's not looking at you as a mother figure, but like a friend figure. And that's what she's looking at you. And that's it. And you treat a friend figure different than a mother figure. Mother, you're disrespectful for. You can talk no matter what. Your mother's going to always love you. friend is a different situation, and she's looking at you like a cool friend. Like you said, you have these animals and things like that. She thinks it's cool. And like I said, just be yourself, and never talk negative about the mother, and things will level out in the family, especially after you get married. Things will change after you get married.
I was just going to say, like, not to jump in, but, it's sort of funny because I was telling Kelly this story about it's hard sometimes because, it's like I back when I was dating my ex-girlfriend, she had a daughter, and the daughter had a father who was this psycho guy who would give his daughter a knife for her Christmas present, and one time it was Valentine's Day, and I just decided to do something nice, so, and I decided to be that whenever it would be appropriate, because she had not been feeling well, to give her flowers with the get well card. That would be the appropriate thing to do. So I buy her flowers with a get well card. She gets on the phone with her father, and this is what she says. This is all she says, by the way. Guess who sent me roses? My mother's boyfriend.
No. Yeah.
And that's all she says. And I said, like, this makes me feel like an idiot,
Well, that's a whole different scenario than Kelly's. What the daughter's trying to do is make the father jealous.
I
understand. The father pays more attention to her and does things for her because his father's not doing enough for her, and that's her ploy, and that's why she did it that way.
The only reason I guess my point of bringing that up is that it is hard when you're dealing with children because you don't want to take the place, and I wasn't trying to take his place, but,
Oh, yeah, and thankfully I'm not dealing with Psycho X, so that helps. Yeah, she's she's a caring mom, and she's afraid of, her daughter being in a position where she's vulnerable to being, I think she's vulnerable, she feels her daughter's vulnerable to her environment, and she sees that she and I have a little different viewpoints on things sometimes, and I think she's afraid she's going to lose her daughter, and she's not going to.
No, she's not. It's just an adjustment period for her. This is all new, and the daughter, she'll always have a close relationship with her daughter. She just has this. It's just a jealousy thing for one thing, and insecurity that the mom's going through. And like I said, it's all going to level out, so don't worry. Especially when you get married and when you have your baby, things are going to change too, as well. So.
Okay. Yeah. Cause, I've heard that it's very common to have this situation when there's a new person introduced, and even if the new person's been around for over a year, it's still new to the situation.
Yep. Kelly, did I hear him say right? He said that you were going to have a baby.
I hope so. I'm not pregnant right now, but I hope so.
No, I feel that's going to happen down the road when you get married. Uh-huh.
Do you see when I'm going to be able to get married? Because I'm wanting to get married in a small ceremony, like after I'm done with all this physical therapy stuff and things are figured out and I'm healthy. Do you happen to see like a timeline if things go according to plan?
Why do you have to wait till after the physical therapy?
Well, I don't. But if I was going to have some sort of surgery, I'd kind of like to have that over with before.
You'll have a supporting husband to help you get through everything. It doesn't matter. He's there now for you as a fiance. He'll be there as a husband. So do not procrastinate. Can I get your age, Kelly?
I'm 43, and on December 4th I'll be 44, and he'll be 41 on the 10th of December.
Okay. All right. So, like I said, I feel don't procrastinate. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it.
Okay.
Don't procrastinate. Mm-hmm. Especially if you want that child, you got to do that now.
Okay. Great. All right. Do you see me getting pregnant next year?
I feel once you try to get pregnant, you are going to get pregnant. So once you start, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I have to get better physically.
Yeah, well, that you have to get. Yeah, you have to physically get better for that. That's definitely. gives you a
Wow.
goal now. That gives you a sense of a goal
Yeah, definitely.
to push through and to follow up on everything and finish up on everything. Yep.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Do you see how like my animals can kind of relate to things, because we're, there's an ordinance here about exotic animals, there's an ordinance there, and trying to be able to have a place that we can, because we're going to be looking for another house eventually after we get married, but probably next year.
You need to look for a place like with acreage where there's no ordinance, where there's at least an acre plus, where you can keep your animals and not worry. And that's a must. When you're in the city limits, you're always going to have ordinance and you're always going to have trouble. But to keep your farm, so to say, you need to look for areas that will allow that. Like, a farming area or a place like we have what's called the acreage here, where you have more than 1 acre and you can have as many pets as you want with no ordinance.
Okay.
That's what you have to look for. You can't fight City Hall, so you need to go to a place where they accept for what you need to do. There's no law against it, and that's what you need to do. That's the only way to do it.
Yeah, here is a zone for farming and whatnot, but they have an ordinance with exotic animals, and that you would have to become an accredited zoo. Yeah, so it's like, that's a lot of hoops to jump through. I'm willing to do it, but it might be better just to find a house that is out in the country that's in neutral territory, where it's not like right around his ex and her family and all that, where it's like more feels like ours together.
Right. Yep.
So do you see that is a possibility?
That's what I feel. It has to be a possibility because that's your lifestyle. That makes who you are. And that's what you need to do.
Okay. Yeah,
do you have a dragon iguana or something like that, or dragon?
I have bearded dragons and things like that.
I see those right now when you're talking. The bearded dragons, is that what they're called? Okay.
Yeah, and I have a snake and a tarantula and leopard gecko and sugar gliders and things like that.
Okay. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, I rescue.
Gotcha. I see that too.
Excellent.
Right.
And I'm trying to pick a vocation where I can make some money to help sustain this.
Well, a location, and the internet's very powerful, and GoFundMe's are very good too. And if you could make it into a public type thing where people can see publicly, I feel that's what you need to do. But it's through the internet.
Oh, like a YouTube channel or something?
Yep. You can do a YouTube channel to show what you have, the animals and stuff like that, and tell your story about how you rescued them, and then have a GoFundMe account that and people will who are like you will donate money to just to feed the animals for their uptake. And you can always you could always keep on telling the stories, like as they grow, like your money did this, sponsored this new cage, or sponsored this, or keeping this healthy, and you can always do that on the YouTube channel and Facebook and so forth, your social media.
Oh, wow. Okay, thank you. Because sometimes vet bills come up and things like that.
Yep, and then you just tell the story and you show the animal, and then even in the vet as they're getting whatever needs to be done, and then coming out of the vet, and your GoFundMe money help pay for this.
Oh, that's cool. Thank you. Yeah, I'm not looking to profit, but it would be nice to have some help.
Yeah, you'll be surprised. People feel that it's a good cause, and and they'll donate whatever they can.
Do you see her being a writer?
Excuse, what did you say, Jonathan?
Do you see Kelly being a writer? She's trying to write a book.
Oh, okay. You know, how to write a book about a zoo.
Yeah, I have a lot of ideas. Like, I am interviewing people for, like, doing rescuing and things like that, what helps motivate them, what they've experienced, and so they're getting into this alternative medicine in animals, and animals get extra senses, and you know, like cancer sniffing dogs, or you know, how animals are more psychic than a lot of the rest of us. You know, not all of us, obviously, but, you know, that they can detect things.
I think they would be because they don't have the social stuff like we do. Like, I remember when I was a kid, my sister, it's funny because my sister now would be the most skeptical person in the world, but she doesn't even realize she was doing this when she was young. Okay. She would say to me, she goes, okay, Johnny, go get this in the other room. You know, and I would go in the other room and I would be going and getting it. But I would be completely in the other room. And she'd be like, okay, Johnny, okay, no, that's not it. Pick up the one next to it. Okay, yeah, okay. And as I'm doing this, I remember, I very clearly remember in my mind, I was thinking, you know, Tasha, I can't believe I started there. I'm in the other room. You know, you can't see me do this. I mean, but in paranormal terms, you know, I mean, there's a word for that. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And and the word for that is remote viewing. But it's sort of funny because, you know, because we worry about these things about remote, it's like she doesn't even realize what she's done. You do realize you have to be in the room, you know, in order to, I mean, to be able to ask that. And but kids, they don't know. It's like, why are you asking me to do this?
Yeah, and how would she know what you're picking up if she can't see you?
Right, and she would do this, and she would say, okay, yeah, it's right next to it. No, okay, it's the one on top. Yes, it's the one on top. Okay, yes.
So intuitively, she's just sinking into you, and she's just reading what she needs to do.
My sister is now the most skeptical woman on the planet, but it's like when you're kids, you don't really know. It's like the social aspect of it. Socially, we learn that's ridiculous. You can't ask people to do that. You can't ask people to, you know, you're going to go in the other room and you're going to, you know, and I mean, do you understand what I'm coming from? That's why we've actually talked about, by the way, her name is, can I say her name on the air, Kelly?
Well, you can say first name.
Yeah.
Sammy. Her name is Sammy, and that's Sammy is the daughter that, and we are talking about bringing Sammy on the air because I really believe that this little girl may be more psychic than she realizes she is, because at that age it's like, you know, it's like you know, it's like, well, gee, you might think socially there's rules. You know, you go in the other room, you know, and you don't, socially, you don't, when somebody goes in the other room, you know, you make sure it's like you don't ask the person a question and then leave information out.
Right. Yep.
You know.
Yep, she's picking up the thoughts and everything like that.
But
kids today are very gifted like that. So
her name is Sammy, and I don't know if you pick up anything from the name Sammy from just knowing her name is Sammy.
Yeah, well, I just know how these young kids are. Is she like 6 or 7 years old?
She's 10. She'll be 11 in January at the end of it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, kids are just very psychic. That's all. So everything.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yep. So.
Yeah, she's really smart. She just doesn't know that she is yet.
Okay. Is this your stepdaughter to be?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's just trying to find herself, figure out who she is and where her place is in the world.
Okay. Yeah. That's it. The 10-year-olds, that's why. Just, she's probably very gifted, like, talk to the animals, too. And she's just very drawn to them as well.
Yeah, they respond well to her, too. Like, they get all excited, or if she's on speakerphone, and she'll be like, oh, take me to the animals. I want to talk to them. And then, they'll look at the phone like, how'd she get in that little box?
Yep.
Yeah. They'll get all excited and, they'll do different things, or if she plays music, then, they'll listen and you can tell that they're listening intently, or they want to get out and try to get to that little box that her voice is coming out of.
Yeah,
that's true. That's true. So.
Yeah, and she knows when one of them's upset, with them.
Excuse me. So.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
so we're about the end of the show now?
Yeah, I guess we're about 3 minutes into the show. I was just going to say, I mean, you had mentioned you were trying to do more shows. I mean, if you ever want to do maybe like a 4-show series or something, like maybe you come in once a week on mine, maybe for 4 shows, maybe you could try that if you're open to it.
Yeah, well, what we're looking at is like doing live video feed on like Facebook and
yeah,
YouTube channels.
We are definitely trying to. I'm trying to look into ways about that as well because.
Yeah.
But if you want to, I mean, if you'd like to do something like, I'd love to have you back on because I think you'd probably be good for Sammy. If I ever have you back on.
Yeah.
I think we found our psychic for Sammy. I think.
I think so too. Yeah.
Because you're both you're a psychic medium, and I think you understand. And I think also, I mean, I don't know if your daughter has any kids. Does your daughter have any kids?
Yes, she has a couple too.
Oh, that's right. She's a stay-at-home mom, so you probably know a little bit about the mindset of an 11-year-old girl. And
well, yeah, I'm a father of 4, so. I had them when they were little, so
yeah.
2 boys, so yeah.
What we'll do is maybe in a few weeks or so I'll contact you and then we'll have you back on and maybe you can talk to Sammy. Does that sound like an idea for you?
That sounds great, Jonathan.
Okay, well thank you. Thank you for coming on.
So much.
Thank you, and thank you, Kelly. I wish you both the best, and thank you.
You too.
Okay.
Y'all have a good night.
You too.
Bye-bye.